y'all, it's me Alex. Today I am doing the ultimate Harry Potter tag. I saw Hello Batty do this on her channel and I'm gonna leave her video down below because she's like the cutest human being. I love Harry Potter. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. Well, my mom was a librarian, so I read a lot as a child. Like, she taught me how to read when I was like 3 years old, and so I've been reading basically my whole life. And so around 4th grade, I really wanted to read Harry Potter and my mom was just like, heck yeah, go read Harry Potter. And I went to public school at this time. This is very important. The librarian at my school would not let me read Harry Potter because it was witchcraft, but I was also reading at like a higher level than all of my classmates, and the library didn't really have any books for people above like a 5th grade reading level because my school was only 4th and 5th grade, and the librarian wasn't letting me read Harry Potter. So my mom, being the awesome human being that she is, she wrote a letter and was basically like, you are hindering my child's education because she's reading at a higher reading level and you don't have any books to accommodate her. And by the way, this is a public school, you can't impose your religious beliefs on that. My mom is also a very strong Christian, as am I. And anyway, I would just like to spend this time thanking my mom for being really, really cool right there, because you have turned me into the fangirl I am today, and thank you, Mom. So I am going to pull all of the questions up on my phone right here, and let's just get started. Favorite book? I really liked Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire just because it was the first book that was like one of the big thick books, and there was so much content in it, and I love spew. That was like one of my favorite things out of the entire book series because Hermione's one of my favorite characters and I love that activism standpoint. I think that was like my first kind of delve into activism, and I love the Triwizard Tournament, and I think in that book you really got to know a lot of good characters there. Least favorite book? I did not enjoy The Deathly Hallows. Actually, the first time I even picked it up, I couldn't finish it the first time that I tried reading it. It took me a couple tries. I don't know, I just wasn't really into it, and like everybody dies and that made me sad. Least favorite movie? Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Like, it's my favorite book, and I realize that they can't include everything, but I'm also the kind of super fan who would sit through a 6-hour movie just so that they would include everything. Like, that's kind of where they stopped including a lot of the stuff that I thought was important, like spew. Why didn't you include that? And also, like, the inconsistencies in everybody's hairstyles in that film. Like, if you even just watch in between scenes, everybody's hair is like all different lengths all through there, and that annoys me. Oh crap, I skipped over. Favorite movie? There we go. Probably Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, because I thought the director that they had for that, Alfonso Cuarón, did such a good job, and it's such a nice balance of like Harry and his friends having adventures, but you know something's not right. And I think that provides just like a really good start to where the franchise should go. I wish they had kept him on as a director for the rest of the movies because I thought he just did such a good job. Favorite quote? For me, it's a Sirius Black quote where he says that there's no such thing as just like a good person or a bad person. There's light and dark in all of us, and it's the side that we choose to act on that's the most important, because I'm just like, yes, good. Favorite Weasley? I love George Weasley. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because I love that he's just like so mischievous, but he's also like the kinder of the two twins. I think both of them had like really kind hearts, so obviously. He was the one who was always like, okay, back off, this joke is getting mean, you know, in situations like that. And George is great. Why is there a plane outside while I'm trying to film? Go fly somewhere else. Thank you. Favorite female character? I like a lot of the female characters in Harry Potter, but my favorite is Luna. My cat is named after Luna Lovegood. Hermione is a very, very close second, I do have to say. But I love Luna. I love how quirky she is, and she's just like, she's such a delight to read about and to watch, and I think they did a really good job casting her too. Favorite villain? I'll say the one I think is the most well done is Umbridge. First of all, she teaches the kids who are reading, well, people in general, but you know, they're kids' books, that like, you know, the government and the people in charge aren't always going to listen to you and aren't always going to be people who can be trusted. Voldemort is like this big evil who you can just like, yeah, objectively he's bad. But Umbridge is the evil that kind of hits more close to home because, like, we can all say, like, that these big world leaders are big villains of history, you know, like, the real world Voldemorts are bad, but it hits closer to home because everybody's had, like, that teacher who was really mean to you and wouldn't believe you and wouldn't listen to you. And so I think that's why Umbridge is like the best villain to me. Favorite male character? For me, it's between Hagrid and Sirius Black. I love Sirius Black because I just like his rebelliousness and I think he's just like the cool uncle. But I also absolutely love Hagrid because of his love for animals, and I love the story that J.K. Rowling told about how she came up with the idea for Hagrid. Apparently she was sitting in a bar and this gang of biker dudes came up to her, and there was this one like really scary dude who was the inspiration for Hagrid, and she was like, oh crap, it's a huge biker. And he sits down next to her and starts talking to her about his garden, and apparently that's how Hagrid came into be, and I just absolutely love that. Favorite professor? Hagrid. Yeah, that's just a thing. Would you rather wash Snape's hair or spend a day listening to Lockhart rant about himself? Wash Snape's hair, because I don't like Snape, but I think that if he actually washed his hair, like, it would just be like glorious right there. Would you rather duel an elated Bellatrix or an angry Molly? Like, I realize either way I'd die, and I also don't want Bellatrix to be happy, and I don't want Molly to be angry. But I think with Molly, she would show me more mercy because I feel like we would be friends before that, like she'd already like me. So yeah. Would you rather travel to Hogwarts via the Hogwarts Express or via the flying car? I would definitely rather choose the Hogwarts Express. I'm very scared of heights. A flying car would just be terrifying to me. Would you rather kiss Voldemort or give Umbridge a bubble bath? Kiss Voldemort because it wouldn't last as long, and I really don't want Umbridge to ever be able to relax in her life. Would you rather ride a hippogriff or ride a firebolt? I'd rather ride a hippogriff because even though I'm scared of heights, I feel as though the hippogriff as a living creature rather than a magical enchanted object would give me more of a sense of comfort because it would be, you know, like your favorite pet being there with you and helping you be less afraid. Is there a character you felt differently about in the movies? I think everybody said this, but Ginny, and also Ron. Book Ron and Book Ginny were so great, but movie Ron and movie Ginny just like, they did not do either of them justice. Like, Ginny had this entire beautiful backstory about her as a person other than her having a crush on Harry, but that's all kind of the movies were. Ron was portrayed, I don't know, he was a better friend to Harry in the books, and he and Hermione made more sense. In the movies, especially the later ones, he's just portrayed as like this snarky, sarcastic, you know, obnoxious dude. And I'm like, that's not who Ron is. Is there a movie you preferred to the book? No. Richard Harris or Michael Gambon, I think that's how he pronounced his name, as Dumbledore. Definitely Richard Harris. He had the better demeanor for it. Like, I'm just remembering in Goblet of Fire, when, you know, Dumbledore asked Harry calmly, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Yeah, no, Richard Harris. Your top thing, person or event that wasn't in the movie that you wanted there the most? Spew. Spew is so good. I've said so much about it, but that's the part that I wanted there the most. If you could remake any of the Harry Potter movies, which would it be? Definitely Goblet of Fire because it is my favorite out of all of the books, and I feel as though had it been done better, I would enjoy the movie a lot more. Yeah, I would just like completely redo it. What house was your first gut feeling you'd be a part of? I thought I was a Ravenclaw for like basically my entire life. That's just what I always felt because I was like, okay, I love school, I love reading, I am an academic, like I'm literally pursuing like grad school right now, so I'm like, of course I would be a Ravenclaw. Which house were you actually sorted into on Pottermore? Look at my shirt, I'm a Gryffindor. I was in denial about this for a real long time, And it wasn't until like last fall that I finally accepted it, because I made like multiple accounts on Pottermore to just like try and get Ravenclaw, but the only time I got Ravenclaw was when I was actually trying to get Ravenclaw, and all of the other times I got Gryffindor. And I really didn't want to be Gryffindor, because especially all the scenes you see in like the movies are just like the Gryffindor common room, everybody celebrating and being super loud after like all their Quidditch wins. And I'm like, are like all Gryffindors like this loud, obnoxious, like sportsy jock people? And what kind of convinced me is I was talking to my friend Natter about Pottermore, and I just got sorted into Gryffindor, and I was like, I just never saw myself as a Gryffindor, and I was still just like really in denial, but at that point I was like, okay, no, this is something that I need to accept because I'm not going to get any other answer. And he was like, yo, Alex, I'm a Gryffindor. And yes, he's very much like a sportsy person, but it's like, you know what, so long as I have at least one friend who's in Gryffindor, because I don't really have any other close Gryffindor friends who can tell everybody else to shut up when they're being too loud after Quidditch games, you know, I might like Gryffindor. And I do, because I think the main thing that kind of determines your house is not, like, there are a lot of dominant characteristics, because I know, like, generally speaking, I'm both a very academic person, but I also know that I value being brave and standing up for what I believe in more than just like just knowing stuff. And I think knowing stuff is good, don't get me wrong. I value courage in myself more than like my academic pursuits. Which class would be your favorite? Either care of magical creatures or potions. I'd say potions because I like cooking, I like mixing stuff, and I think that's great. But also care of magical creatures because I am such an animal person, and I just like want to hug all the cute little animals, and yeah. Which spell do you think would be most useful to learn? I think Accio would, because I don't always want to like go all the way downstairs just to grab something, and it would just be useful around the house. Which character do you think you'd instantly become friends with? Probably Hermione, because I know I'm very much like her, because she's very much the kind of Gryffindor that could also go into Ravenclaw. She was one of my favorite characters when I was growing up too, because I related to her a lot, because I was kind of made fun of for being the know-it-all in class. I feel as though she and I would be really great friends. If you could own one of the 3 Hallows, which would it be? I would say the wand. I realized that like the methods to get it I would not like, because I don't ever want to kill another person, but I like the idea that like spells cannot fail. Is there any aspect of the books you'd want to change? I wish that Dumbledore was more explicitly gay in the books. I realize it's kind of a controversial thing to say, but like as a queer person myself, I'm glad that it wasn't made a big deal out of, but I also thought it seemed more like an afterthought after like everything had happened. I realized that there was apparently subtext there, and I also know that like Dumbledore, you know, in his position wouldn't, you know, be super out there gay, but I also wish that there was more of a mention there in the books. I feel as though that would be more powerful, even if it was more just like a casual mention. By the way, when he was talking about his life when I was with my former partner, so-and-so, something like that, just in a casual mention, I think that would have been a lot more powerful than, you know, just kind of how that was actually represented. Favorite Marauder? I love Lupin, but I love Sirius Black more. He is just rebellious and my favorite, and I also just really would love to get like more information on what it was like when the Marauders were at Hogwarts. If you could bring one character back to life, who would it be? I'd bring all of them, because like, but that's not the question. That's not the question. I'd probably bring Fred back to life, because I recognize how painful that would have to be to lose your twin. I know that that's a special kind of pain that I could never feel. So to kind of bring Fred back, I think would be good. Hallows or Horcruxes? I would probably say Hallows, even though I think both of them are very dangerous, especially for people who are power hungry, but I think the Hallows have more use for doing good, whereas Horcruxes are inherently bad because you would have to kill somebody. Also, they didn't work out so well for Voldemort, because he only lived to be like 70 something, and the average lifespan of a wizard is like over 100 years old. I'm just saying. That is the end of the tag. I'm going to link Hello Batty's video down in the description box below. Go check her out. I absolutely love her. If you are watching this and you do videos and you love Harry Potter, I tag you to do this tag. I'm not tagging anybody specific so that I don't leave anybody out, or if I accidentally call out somebody who like hasn't read Harry Potter and isn't in the fandom. Also, if you would like a tutorial for this look, that will be coming out next week. I promise that I am actually going to do more videos. I know I've been saying that like 1.5 million times, but it's true. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you on my next one. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye!